Alright, I'm going to attempt a walking, talking clip this morning. I'm here on this nice clear stretch of Tower Road. There's no traffic at the moment. I had a really interesting time yesterday afternoon. I had left about 10:30 in the morning from my friend's house. He was in a grumpy mood and I didn't really feel like listening to him swear at me and castigate me. So I set off and I went the long walk to the grocery store. Nearest one is a Publix. It's a popular grocery chain here in Florida. One of the biggest actually here in Florida in the southeast. And it's a 4-mile hike there. And along the way, I met up with a fellow who I have spoken with before. He's a very friendly guy. He's a boat builder in addition to a couple of other businesses he runs. He showed me this wonderful boat that he's working on, refurbishing a cast concrete hulled boat. You wouldn't think that would float, but he knows what he's doing. So I'm looking forward to seeing him eventually complete that project. And then I walked along, finally found a place to sit. You may have seen my clip of the senior center. I was able to sit there. I was at about the 3-mile mark, and then there was that final 4th mile to the grocery store. I got to my former high school and I was going to do a clip there, but the traffic was beastly and I wanted to get across as soon as the light changed. So maybe I'll do that another day, maybe on a Sunday or something. It's not much to see from the road, but it's got some historical significance. Got to the grocery store, got my groceries, tied up my dog outside by the bench, and everything was going fine. Got up to the register and I wouldn't run my card. I'm like, wow, this isn't good. I just deposited a $100 check on Monday. So I'm like, okay, let me go to the bank, find out what's going on. At least let me get the dog food from my dog because he was hungry. And they were kind enough, I had cash enough to do that. And I went over to the bank and drew out what I could from checking. I got some in money market, but I kind of like to leave that alone. Go back to the store, I got $40. The order was around 60. And don't you know, I started to say, well, let's pull out $20 worth of this stuff and let y'all put it back because I don't really need all this today. Don't you know, this assistant manager, congenial guy, he pulls out some kind of a magic card they keep behind the register and he swipes it and it covers that extra $20 for me. I was just like, hey, wait a minute, now I pay my bills. And he said, don't worry about it, we got you today. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do then. When money gets right, I'll get either down here when you're having a food raising drive, a fun drive for food pantries, or I'll go down to Christian Social Services, where I was a member of the board of directors back in the 1980s, and I'll make a donation to them of food. And they all kind of smiled. They thought I was joking, but they don't know me very well. So I got to get up and leave out from there, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to fit all those groceries in my pack, so I brought along one of those oversized reusable grocery bags, but it just wasn't enough. I put what I could into that, and I had 2 plastic grocery bags, put the rest of I had into those, the lighter stuff, and started to make my way down to the end of the sidewalk. And it was heavy. It was heavier than I had expected, and I was like, gee, I don't know. How am I going to do 4 miles like this? I'll have to do it, 100 yards at a time or something like that. And I sat down on a bench right about a Mexican restaurant at the corner of a little shopping plaza. I'm just sitting there gathering my wits, and this fellow rolls up on a wheelchair, young guy. And he says, hey, could you use some ice cream or something? I said, well, no, I got plenty of groceries. He said, well, what's going on? I said, yeah, well, I got 4 miles to go to get home. And just gathering myself together, putting things together and how I'm going to make this. He said, well, how far is it? I told him again, well, it's 4 miles. He says, I'll give you a lift. He's on a wheelchair. I was like, wow, it's really generous of you. I appreciate that, but you don't have to go all the way if you don't want to. He said, don't worry about it. So he goes over. He had one of his children with him. He gets this custom van and gets in it, gets behind the wheel. He's got hand controls for throttle and brake. And a child comes over and says, you know, you can come on and get in the van now. And I carried my stuff over there and my dog. It turns out that there's plenty of space in the back of this van. There's a nice bench seat and a place for his wheelchair to get secured. And it's really nice and new. And, well, what's going on, I think? Turns out the man is a veteran of the Afghanistan War. He was severely injured in 2007. Paralyzed from the shoulders down. And hey now. Hey Lou.
Hey, it's gonna be wintertime before you get back.
I think you're probably right, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
It's one of our local dudes there. Really nice guy. He was a welder and fabricator in his career. He's retired, of course. Anyway, so I get in this van with my dog and with this Afghanistan War veteran, his child, and he drives me back to my house. Turns out he is originally from Hawaii, and he grew up on a plantation there. And this is a man that is paralyzed from the shoulders down, and he keeps telling me, we've been blessed, we've been blessed. And I'm like, wow, man, here I am. I've got a fractured pelvis and a broken right wrist. I'm going to be completely healed in about 6 months, and he's going to have to live with that for the rest of his life. And he's in his mid-20s or late 20s, something like that. It just goes to show you. It's like I always tell my dog. He's right there. You can see him. It's like I always tell my dog, people are good. You just got to give them a chance.